Hello and welcome to South Bay Sports Radio. Here's your host, Nick Ingram.
Welcome in to a special Thanksgiving episode of South Bay Sports Radio. It is episode 73. This episode is all about the three South Bay area football teams still playing: Carson, Palos Verdes, and Redondo Union. This episode will not be featuring Back in Time. It is Thanksgiving. Up first, because it's the Friday game, Palos Verdes hosts Pacifica of Oxnard. 7 o'clock kickoff at Palos Verdes High School under the lights. This is another matchup of defending CIF Southern Section champions. Palos Verdes won Division 5 last year. Pacifica won Division 4. I stopped by practice prior to Friday's title game and talked with Coach Guy Gardner, Max Bates, and Andrew Candello. You can hear each of those interviews anywhere you tune into your podcasts. Episode 74 of South Bay Sports Radio. Let's start with Pacifica. Pacifica comes out of the always strong Marmani League after taking the league title this year. The Tritons defeated Oak Hills 42-21 in the opening round before knocking off top-seeded Bishop Amat 28-7 in the quarterfinals. In the semifinals, it was Chino Hills who fell 42-24. Some of the matchups that Pacifica has been in this year: it's been a month since they've had a close game. October 10th, they defeated St. Bonaventure 24-23. A week prior, they outlasted Oaks Christian 17-13. A few players from Pacifica that I want to talk about. The offense goes as Taylor Lee goes. The junior quarterback has thrown for 3,345 yards and 47 touchdowns, completing 68% of his passes. Angel Sepulveda and Isaiah Phelps have combined for over 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns on the ground. Anthony Jacobs Jr. leads Pacifica's receivers with 1,066 yards and 13 touchdowns. Other receivers with notable numbers are Elijah Royster with 741 yards and 12 touchdowns, and Will Jones Jr. has 485 yards and 9 touchdowns. Defensively, Phelps leads the unit with 179 tackles. Devil Warner has 160. Julian Velez and Malaika Sione have 5 sacks each. Pacifica's turnover ratio is a key component to the success of this team as well. They forced 28 turnovers while only giving the ball away 14 times. Palos Verdes is also playing in its second consecutive title game and 6th since 2012 under Guy Gardner. Coach told me Ryan Orkowski is highly doubtful to play in this game after breaking the thumb on his right hand, making a tackle following the turnover against Edison in last week's win. PV clinched the Bay League's second spot and comes into this game at 10-3. The Sea Kings began the playoffs with a 42-34 comeback victory over Valencia before a nail-biting 14-13 victory over Dana Hills in the quarterfinals. It was retribution in the semifinals, defeating Edison 23-10 to advance to Friday's title game. PV's had some tough matchups this year. A 26-0 loss to Serra to open the season. They fell to Lusinger 40-14 at SoFi October 9th. And defeated Maricosta 18-15 in its regular season finale. Some numbers from Palos Verdes. Rakowski's a huge part of this offense. He's thrown for 2,045 yards and 24 touchdowns while rushing for 704 more and 8 scores. Needless to say, his presence will be missed. Jordio Damasio has thrown for 320 yards and 6 touchdowns, 19-34 passing attempts completed. Dominic Hernando has 741 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Morley Boyd leads the receiving corps with 777 yards and 7 touchdowns. Say that 5 times fast. Jalen Flowers has 483 yards and 9 touchdowns. Defensively, Weston Reese leads the unit for the second consecutive year, this year with 94 tackles to go along with 3 sacks. Max Bates has 72 tackles. Ben McGovern has 3.5 sacks. And Jalen Flowers has 4 interceptions. PV's turnover ratio is 26-12. My keys to this game: PV needs to limit penalties. That's been an Achilles heel for it during the playoffs, especially against a team as explosive as Pacifica. Aside from that, the Sea Kings defense is going to have to answer the bell time after time. Smash mouth Sea King football defensively. The biggest question: can that offensive line protect Jordio Damasio long enough to allow him to make the necessary reads in order to spread the ball around to PV's playmakers on the outside that include Flowers, Boyd, and Sho Murakami Moses? We will see Friday night. Moving into the city section, top-seeded Carson takes on 6th-seeded Crenshaw at LA Southwest for the LA City Section Open Division Championship. Kickoff for this game is set for 6 p.m. on Saturday. Did I say Saturday? That's right, Saturday. I stopped by practice prior to Saturday's title game and spoke with Coach William Lowe, quarterback Chris Fields III, Xavier Allen, and Preston Liamidi. You can hear each of those interviews anywhere you tune into your podcast. That is episode 75 of South Bay Sports Radio. We're going to start off with Crenshaw. The Coliseum League champions come into this game 10-1 after pitching a shutout 30-0 over San Pedro in the opening round before taking down second-seeded Birmingham 12-7. That win snapped Birmingham's 55-game city section winning streak. Crenshaw's win was driven by several standouts, beginning with junior quarterback Daniel Flowers, who played through a broken wrist and still went 15 of 25 for 110 yards and the game-winning touchdown to Deontay Lewis on a 16-yard strike. Joshua Jones powered in with a 1-yard score to cap an 85-yard drive, while the Cougars defense set the tone all night with 2 interceptions, one from Keon Rattler in the first quarter and another from DeAndre Kirkpatrick in the third that directly set up the deciding touchdown. Crenshaw has won 6 city titles since 1998, most recently 2017, and has continuously produced talent that's gone on to the next level and the NFL, including Hayes Pullard and DeAnthony Thomas. Pullard went to USC, DeAnthony Thomas went to Oregon. Marine League champion Carson sits at 9-3 overall after limiting King, Drew, and Garfield to 9 points over its first 2 playoff games. Carson's 3 losses were all the Southern Section teams. A Week 1 loss to Villa Park, 26-22. A Week 3 loss to Palos Verdes, 30-6. And a double overtime loss to North Torrance in Week 5. Chris Fields leads the Colt offense with 1,667 passing yards and 26 touchdowns, completing 60% of his passes, while rushing for 887 more and adding 10 touchdowns on the ground. Eric Myers has 923 yards on the ground and 9 touchdowns, and Zach Brox tallied 350 yards and 5 touchdowns out of the backfield. Nathan Williams leads the receiving corps with 516 yards to go along with 5 touchdowns, but it's Craig Sky Walker with 385 yards and a receiving high 8 touchdowns. Preston Liamidi leads the defense with 86 tackles. Xavier Allen has 85 and 3 sacks, and sophomore Kingston Sula has 79 tackles and 14 sacks. Carson has forced 15 turnovers this year while only giving up 8. Carson's won 10 city section titles, but none since 2003, and the Colts' last final appearance was 2014. You ready for my keys to the game? Well, here we go. Crenshaw's defense is tough, without a doubt. Limiting Birmingham and San Pedro to 7 points is no simple task. Over its last 5 games, Crenshaw's defense has allowed 15 points. Will Carson's offense, particularly Chris Fields, be able to show the dual threat capabilities he has? Can Carson's defense continue to wreak havoc on opposing offenses and keep Crenshaw's offense quiet? We will see Saturday night. And last, but certainly not least, the 16th seed in Division 5, Redondo Union, hosts one of the winningest programs in the Southern Section, Rio Hondo Prep, Saturday night. Kickoff for this game is set for 7 p.m. I stopped by practice prior to Saturday's title game and spoke with Coach Keith Ellison, Brock Herrera, and Bo Osmus. You can hear each of those interviews anywhere you tune into your podcast. That is episode 76 of South Bay Sports Radio. 16-time champion Rio Hondo Prep is looking for its 3rd consecutive title after winning the Division 7 title in 2024 and the Division 9 crown the year before. Rio Hondo Prep is undefeated at 13-0 after beating Thousand Oaks 50-34 in the opening round, blanking Troy 28-0 in the quarterfinals, and overpowering Lucerna 35-6 in the semifinals. Key players on both sides of the ball include quarterback Yannick Diaz. He's thrown 17 touchdowns and 942 yards with a 52% completion rate. Tailback Noah Penanuri has tallied 1,203 yards and 22 touchdowns, but Rio Hondo looks to be a running back by committee type of team. 3 other tailbacks have at least 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Defensively, the Cares are led by Christian Lee with 66 tackles, Troy Seto with 56, Nathaniel Shine has 4.5 sacks, and Tyler Dang has 3 interceptions. The unit has totaled 26 turnovers this season. Redondo Union sits at 9-4 after taking down number 1 seed Torrance in the opening round. 21-14, defeating St. Paul 14-13 in the second round before its 21-7 victory over Loyola in the semifinal. Cole Leinart, quarterback, has thrown for 1,509 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's completed 56% of his passes. Christian Zeno has 486 yards and 6 touchdowns. Tyler Harper has a 556 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns in 8 games. You'd think I'd forget about Bo Osmus. Since returning, he scored 14 touchdowns, including 9 rushing, and added another one on a kickoff return. Defensively, Lincoln Esparza leads the unit with 72 tackles. Tyler Sellis has 67, and Brock Herrera has 65 to go along with 6.5 sacks. Mike Ricardo has 4 sacks, and the defense has forced 20 turnovers. Redondo last competed in the title game in 1942, and the CIF website lists the program as 3-time champions in 1933, 43, and 44 as well. But with World War II in full swing, there was no postseason at that time. Keys to this game. It's going to be limiting mistakes in all phases of the game for the Seahawks. And can the defense continue that strong play that got it to this point in the season? Cole Leinart was in a walking boot during the first few days of the week, but was set to return to practice Wednesday. Of course, Leinart, Osmus, and the offense are always going to be a key to the success of this team. But from my vantage point, can that offensive line get enough of a push to give Leinart time to pick apart the defense? And can the front 7 of the Seahawk defense contain Rio Hondo's relentless rushing attack? We'll see Saturday night. I want to thank you for tuning into South Bay Sports Radio. It really means a lot to me. I know you have a lot of ways to take in your South Bay enjoyment, but I really appreciate you being here. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. I wish you a great Thanksgiving. Have a great day. Until next time, I'm Nick Ingram. Enjoy your holiday.